The Farmers Almanac has released their official winter outlook for the 2023 to 2024 season. They captioned this year saying the burr is back. The Farmers Almanac says that winter weather is making a comeback. After a warm winter anomaly last year, traditional cool temperatures and snowier weather conditions will return to the contiguous United States. Now they move on to more specific details. The Farmers Almanac says that December 2023 is forecast to start out quite stormy. Our extended weather forecast calls for some blizzard conditions blowing snow into areas over northern New England, the north-central states, and northern and central areas of New Mexico, Oklahoma, and Arkansas. Before we continue on, they point out their reasoning for the return of the burr. The Farmers Almanac says that there are indications that an El Niño will be brewing in the latter half of 2023, lasting into the winter of 2024. If we consider that alongside our tried-and-true forecast formula, it means that cold temperatures should prevail throughout the country and bring snow, sleet, and ice. Back to the forecast now. The Farmers Almanac calls for below-average temperatures and lots of snowstorms, sleet, ice, and rain for much of the Great Lakes and Midwest areas of the country, as well as central and northern New England, especially in January and February. An unusually snowy and wet winter is also predicted for the Pacific Northwest. Should an El Niño materialize, it could direct the subtropical jet stream into California, translating into copious amounts of rain and snow across the entire Southwest. Winter in the Great Plains and Rockies will usher in plenty of cold temperatures and occasional bouts of storminess, bringing widespread rains and snows. Texans will need to bundle up, as unseasonably cold weather is forecast throughout January and February, with a possible major winter storm in mid-January. The Southeast and Florida will see a wetter than normal winter, with average winter temperatures overall. But a few frosts may send many shivers to snowbirds trying to avoid the cold and snow back home. For those of you living along the I-95 corridor from Washington to Boston, who saw a lack of wintry precipitation last winter, you should experience quite the opposite, with lots of rain, sleet, and snowstorms to contend with. The Farmers Almanac has listed a few winter weather advisories below, which are segments during the winter that could be unsettled. The second week of January will be stormy, snowy, and wet for both the Pacific Coast and the eastern states. Lots of cold temperatures and some storms will keep folks in the south-central states busy during the middle of January. Heavy mountain snows will cover the western U.S., including the mountains on the Pacific Coast, during the first week of February. An East Coast storm affecting the Northeast and New England states will bring snowfall, cold rain, and then frigid temperatures during the second week of February. Unseasonably cold temperatures will blow into the Southeast states mid-February. Potential blizzards for this first week of March will remind folks in the north-central states that winter isn't over yet. Another East Coast storm will bring a wintry mess to this area during the first week of March. A possible late-season snowfall over the high terrain of New England during the third week of April won't be a fun April Fool's Day prank. The Farmers Almanac also points out the end of winter. March will remind us that the burr is back and won't let go too easily. March's extended forecast calls for wild swings in the thermometer, especially in the east. And March could go out like a lion, with stormy conditions nationwide. I personally think this is a solid forecast overall, and I give credit to them, they did a good job. The only surprising thing was that they forecasted colder conditions across the entire country. During an El Niño, the northwestern tier tends to be warmer. Same thing applies to the precipitation, it should be drier in that northwestern area. Thanks for watching, I hope you learned something new from this video. Get ready for winter, and stay safe.